All right, I want to show you how to set up a series of views. So sort of like these views here. Right, so if you had like an overall view, a close-up view, and then a general elevation view, and then you're on the porch, and then you're in the room, and then you go up to the second floor. So this is the first floor, this is the second floor, this is the third floor, and then this is an option for a panorama. So I'm going to kind of start with this one and make a couple of additional views and show you how just various different ways. You can do it however you like. You could definitely just zoom in and around and save views if you want to. I find it a little easier to save the views in Revit, but you can create 3D views from Enscape too, so you can sort of port them back and forth. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and maybe start. We'll start from our XO view that we made, right? Um, so if we started from this view and say we wanted to move in, or up to the front porch and into the house, probably what I would do just to keep it easy is I would come to my site plan and WT. Let's go to XO and then get both of these open. And what you can do, and you can use this in elevation and section, is you can pick the window of the view here and it will show you the camera in those views, and then you can come in and left click in this view and pick that camera. So I'm just picking that camera and I'm going to copy it. I'm just going to come up to the copy and I'm going to copy it kind of right to the center line, and then I'm going to adjust it a little bit, right, maybe where I'm looking at it, and you'll see that it'll make like an X1. So I'm going to rename this right to X2, and I'll rename this one to X1 so it doesn't have a 0 on it, so it's a little. But if I double click on X2, now I've got this X2 image, right? Let me close that. Let me come over here and I'll double click while that one's active, and it'll replace it with the X2. Now if I pick the X2, I get that camera here, so I can come in and sort of back it away, and again, you can kind of get this set up. You could also come in to the actual view itself and use the navigation wheel, so if you want to orbit it a little bit, or something like that. And again, I'm just kind of using this to get my base set up, because I'm going to use Enscape to do most of the rendering and the final setup. I just want to get sort of basically where I'm going to be, right? And I'm not going to worry about cropping or anything like that. We'll get to that a little bit. Mostly what you want to do is just sort of center things as best you can. So if I come over here, I don't really need to see that far, so I can pull that guy in and just adjust them a little bit, to get them where you want it. So maybe a little bit further up on the front porch, right? So we're kind of looking in. So just, get it kind of like where you feel comfortable. And then I would just come in and do the same thing again to get the inside view. Just pick that and go to copy, whoops. Got to pick the camera first, right? And go to copy and then copy that guy kind of inside the house, right? And then you'll see that X3 appear. If you highlight here and double click on X3, you'll see that X3 view, right? And then if I pick this, it looks like I'm sort of still outside the glass. So I'm going to move in a little bit. If I go to wireframe in here, I can see, where that camera is in relation to the glass. So I'm just just a little bit, right? So getting sort of inside the space there. Now, one thing that you want to do for sure is if you look at our X2, we have this nice lighting in here. You just want to make sure that it should carry, but if you go to sun settings, if you're duplicating that view, you should be getting the same time, right? So if I come into sun settings here, right, should be at that same time. Okay, and then if I wanted to go up to the second floor, basically I could just copy this guy up to the second floor using sort of the south elevation or something. So if I go to the south elevation here and I come over here, right, and then I come in here and pick the camera and I copy that, right, and I'm just going to copy it from one level to another. You see it pops X4 in there, and then if I highlight this and go to X4, now I've got that camera in the exact same place on the second floor. I can come in over here and pick that camera. It's kind of in a, see if I can get around it, and copy it again up to the third floor, right? And so now I've got my X5. So if I go to my X5, there's the third floor. So that's just a quick way to sort of get a really consistent series of views. And when we come back, we'll do a panorama rendering.